In 2017, California recruited a record 14,252 foreign workers under the H-2A foreign worker program. So I'm going to explain a little bit about the H-2A foreign worker program. So what this is a federal program that was put in place for agricultural employers when they couldn't get enough workers, because they started facing the reality when they couldn't get enough native workers to work on their fields. They were able to apply for this program so that they can import workers from other countries to come here for agricultural, seasonal or temporary agricultural work. Legally, yeah. So it's a way that they could come, and again, it's on a temporary basis. Yeah. Now, the downside to it is that there's a lot of red tape, a lot of regulations, and it really makes it not a viable option for the employers. Because one of the things that they have to do is they got to pay the travel for back and forth. So you got to import them you got to bring them from the country. You got to pay for the travel to come into here, and then you got to pay for their travel back over there. Not only that, you got to pay as well for their travel from where they're staying at to where they're working at. And you got to reimburse them for food. So food. And on top of that, you got to provide them adequate housing.
Yeah.
So you got to have adequate housing. If you don't have adequate housing, then you got to, again, pay for somewhere for them to stay.
Yeah.
So it's not a very viable option for a lot of these companies. So not only that, but for the workers, it's not really good for the workers either, because they don't actually get paid a real wage. What they get is a tally that's based on a survey that's taken by the U.S. Department of Agriculture. So it's not like they're getting paid per hour or they're getting paid a piece rate. They tally up from a survey how much they're going to get paid. So again, it's a lose-lose situation, and that's why it's not working for a lot of these employers. And I'll give you another example. So in 2011, North Carolina hired 245 people to work under H-2A, right? Out of those 245, only 163 were able to make it to the first day. Again, there's delays that are happening. And out of those people that they recruited, only 7 lasted the entire season. So another restriction is they can only stay for so long. If the harvest is extended, they don't get an extension. They got to come back. So what happened is in North Carolina, at this time that they had all these people that they hired, all these foreign workers, there was 500,000 unemployed in the state. Wow. So again, it goes back to people from here, they don't want these jobs. And I know that's the argument that's being made is, oh, Mexicans are coming over here, or Hispanics or immigrants are coming over here to take all of these jobs from Americans. And I've heard it on the streets. I heard people talking right behind me talking about, hey, Mexicans coming over here, taking all the jobs and all this and all that. And the reality is they're coming over here to take jobs that nobody else wants.
Except for their children. And that might be some people, the ones that they're referring to, because it's not our children who are seeking these jobs. We're seeking the executive and all that stuff. We're trying to get up there. We're not trying to do
well, again, but at that point, you're talking about U.S. citizens.
Yeah, but like when you're walking up and down the street, they don't see that. They don't see that. They think that you're somebody who just snuck over here and just happens to work on the corner office just like them. Right. That it's that easy. Like it's that easy.
They like to categorize everybody.
Exactly. Like, for example, like let's say you had your residency, right? And you were working inside of an office or corporate office and stuff like that. And then you had kids here, you got married or whatever, you have kids here, your kids have citizenship, they get a corner office too, but they're going to be looked at the same way.
And that's why you get the discrimination at the job, at the workplace, where it becomes tougher for somebody who is of Hispanic descent to be able to move up within a company, even if you are equal to somebody, to a native born. It's still tougher. You got more hurdles to climb.
Or even if you're smarter too, or you work harder, you're there earlier, you leave later, it doesn't matter. Like, you're still seen as you came into this country illegally somehow, some way.
They try to tie you back, and again, they try to categorize everybody.
Well, they tether you to your father and your mother, but we can't tether them to their father and their mother.
Yeah, it's sad. It is. Now the shortage in labor has caused a lot of these farmers to make changes to accommodate the workers. So they went from they have so many workers or so many people wanting to work that they could say, "Hey, if you don't like it, you can get out of here because you got 10 other people who are willing to take your spot." To now the tables have turned and the employers are realizing we need people, so they're starting to accommodate. In some instances they're handing out benefits. You're talking about medical, 401k, and we're talking agricultural jobs. They're even accommodating for childcare, so they're providing different shifts. If one parent has to take the kids in the morning, then they'll provide a shift for the evening. That way the parents can switch off and now the other one can work. So again, these are changes that have been forced upon employers just due to the labor shortage. Some farmers have been forced to even switch to less intensive crops or less labor intensive crops and to move to crops that can be automated. So you're talking about like potatoes, you're talking carrots,
or smaller fields,
things like that. Now the problem is that, of course, not all of those crops, not everybody can grow those crops. Somebody's got to grow some of these highly sought after crops, right? And
like strawberries.
Strawberries, you got apples, bananas, all
Yeah,
things like
but I
that.
say strawberries because they're very delicate
And so what's happening is a lot of these farmers, they're having to move their grow operations to Mexico just because they can't afford them here. So again, the labor shortage, it's all due in large part to a lot of these policies that are being implemented to keep immigrants from coming into this country. And you're seeing it with agricultural employers. They're losing a lot of money due to it. And it's just proof that a lot of the people that come in here, they're coming to work. They're not coming out here because they want to use up benefits, because they want to take away your jobs. They're trying to get work that nobody else wants. It's just the reality of it. Again, thanks everybody for watching. I'm Hugo Vargas.
I'm Alejandro Galvan.
Another episode of Exposicion. See you next time.